Hi, I'm Rudy Dillenseger. I'm part of the global product management team for Microsoft Dynamics AX. And today I'm going to talk to you about our two-tier ERP strategy where Microsoft Dynamics AX can provide you the right balance between, business agility and IT efficiency. It's all about, how big enterprises are deploying ERP internally. I'm going to share with you today what is our finding in terms of the enterprise space and how ERP have been deployed in order to answer your needs. Then we're going to see how can Microsoft bring you a new vision about deployment of ERP and being able to tell you when is it interesting for you to deploy a two-tier strategy. Then we're going to see what is our value proposition in that space and what makes Microsoft Dynamics AX the best solution to implement in a two-tier environment. So basically what happened is, from the 90s, what we've been seeing in the enterprise space is the quest of looking at a single instance where you could do everything with the same solution. Well, that was a great achievement in the first place. I mean, if you're looking at all the results that you got in financial, for example, and being able to do consolidation and report your results within a few days where you needed a few months before, I mean, that was a great achievement in that space. Other great achievement was, since all financial were in this single instance, you could very easily compare your P&L and compare units to units and being able to do a lot of BI from a financial perspective. What has been missed as a goal in that particular space was more on the business side of the story. How could I deploy this single instance of my ERP all across my different locations? How can I meet my different business requirements? And how can I keep the cost down in terms of deployment, limiting the number of specifics that I need to do, and also, keeping the skills inside of my company and being able to have all the skills all across the board to deploy that application. So again, because of this, what we've been seeing in the enterprise space is filling the gaps, meaning implementing different ERP solutions at local level. What we've seen is being able to answer the specific needs of the subsidiary. So great goals that have been achieved here, and using best-of-breed application or a local vertical or specific application for a specific matter, and being able to support line of business. But what it didn't bring is basically what your administrative ERP brought you is a view of consolidation and being able to have a solution that you can implement within the entire company and being able to use the same solution in the US, in Germany, France, China, and because of this localization requirement, it was not necessarily possible to expand those best-of-breed application. And in any case, what we've seen is a lot of data redundancy because everything needed to sit in the local subsidiary, basically, or in the branch, or in a particular brand, for example. So we've been looking at analysts and people like Ray Wang, and they basically acknowledge the fact that the Holy Grail of this single instance is basically gone, and people need to find innovative ways of answering the business requirement and also optimizing the IT infrastructure and limiting the cost at the end. So it's all about this disruptive, technology that is required in order to get there. If you're looking at Nigel Montgomery from Gartner, is mentioning that it's already happening in some of the enterprise company, and they are looking at this two-tier ERP strategy in order to lower the cost and address the small to mid-sized subsidiaries and being able to have one solution that you can deploy across the board. And that's exactly where we think at Microsoft we are best positioned. Basically, what you do is you keep your administrative ERP. I mean, it's been doing a great job, and you're doing all your financial consolidation. Again, comparing your units is happening there. But from an operational standpoint, at local level, at branch level, you need this operational ERP. And we think that a solution like Microsoft Dynamics AX could be a great asset for your company. So what is the optimal two-tier strategy? I mean, obviously you don't want to necessarily do that all the time, but when it comes that the single instance doesn't meet your requirement locally, what is the alternative? Well, we think that the alternative is to have something which can go across your subsidiary, for example, from different sizes. You can have a small entity in one location, a bigger one in another location. You can run an entire activity where you may want to have this application because of these industry capabilities, which are important to you. I mean, we see a lot of companies actually not only having one activity. I mean, most of them, you know, if you're a manufacturing company, at the end of the day, you may distribute your product in certain geographies. You're not actually having a plant there, or you may want to do some services and install your machinery, for example. And that's again something which is very different, and you need to have one application which is able to support all this. And then what you're looking at is probably rationalizing your business processes, and by doing this and maybe having some core deployment, you may also decrease the TCO of your application. So what we're looking at an optimal two-tier strategy is really combining this administrative ERP. So basically you keep what you have for financial. Again, he's been doing a great job in consistency, reporting, unit-to-unit comparability. The consolidation aspect has been a great asset to you, so just keep it. And from an operational standpoint, use a solution like Microsoft Dynamics AX for its agility, and also for the insight it's providing from a business perspective on the business process level, where you need to understand, how you're doing with your customer, with your, vendor, how your production is doing, or distribution, or retail, and being able to have different rhythms depending on the location you're at. And again, what we're providing with a solution like Microsoft Dynamics AX, it's all this business process standardization. Basically, you create a core model and you deploy this core model across the board, and you can have different core model based on what kind of entity you're serving, basically. Our greatest asset is obviously the familiarity of the tool, and how can we increase the adoption. And as an example, I want to explain to you what we think about Dynamics AX. I mean, we really think that we're bringing the right balance here at the operational level and being able to integrate with your administrative ERP. So it's all about standardization. How can I bring consistency and best practices across the board, across my entire organization? It's all about the level of innovation that Microsoft is bringing you. We are not only innovating in our ERP system, but we are basically leveraging all our Microsoft stack. And then when I'm talking about the stack, I'm talking about SQL Server, SharePoint, Office, Windows, all those tools that are, the success of Microsoft are basically leveraged within Microsoft Dynamics AX. And then what we can provide to you is all the consolidation of your resources. So you've got a lot of people already knowing this Microsoft technology, and because Microsoft Dynamics AX is leveraging this, it's easier for you to be able to have the same people managing your ERP, and obviously people knowing about Visual Studio or phone application, and everything of this can be integrated with our ERP. Obviously, we are not going to forget about the primary goal, which is business agility at local level. With Microsoft Dynamics AX, what we can do is to fit a broad range of requirements. And when we're talking about requirement, it's both coming from regional, being able to answer the localization need, local regulation. It's just also, the size of your entity. Whether it's a small one, whether it's a big one, whether you want to deploy with an IT governance model, which is more like a single instance for managing this particular activity, or federated environment, or local instance that needs to be deployed because you don't necessarily have the right IT infrastructure in that place. So basically, you can really fit a broad range of requirements with Microsoft Dynamics AX. And then it's all about the time to value with Microsoft Dynamics AX. The high values that we can bring due to the user adoption. The way AX is working is very familiar as in Microsoft Office. So for a user to use it, I mean, that's a lot easier. He feels confident, he feels that he already knows the application, and the success of an ERP implementation is all about the change management, and we think we are bringing a whole lot in that space. It's all about leveraging the investment. As I mentioned earlier, we are leveraging the Microsoft stack, and you already have competencies in it. So the learning curve is way faster, and you can reuse technology you already know. And then it's all about faster time to implement. We've been doing a lot of work with Microsoft Dynamics AX in order to make this implementation faster. We are releasing tools like Rapid Start, which is a breakthrough innovation within the ERP industry that is going to help you implement and deploy the application. At the end, the deployment, the maintainability of the application is going to help you drive your cost down and obviously increase your total cost of ownership and having a great solution in that space. With this, what I'm inviting you to do is look at us on Microsoft.com, look at Microsoft Dynamics AX, or contact your partners and check out about our two-tier strategy. Thank you for listening, and looking forward to meeting with you.